What is a hero? In a hero is typically a superpowered individual who fights to protect people and uphold justice. Heroes can be independent or part of organizations like the Guardians of the Globe or the Global Defense Agency (GDA). Some heroes have noble intentions, while others operate in morally gray areas. While traditional heroes exist in the Invincible universe, the series also deconstructs superhero tropes, showing how power can be corrupted, manipulated, or come with heavy personal costs. Characters like Invincible, also known as Mark Grayson, struggle with what it truly means to be a hero, especially when facing threats like the Viltrumites or morally ambiguous figures like Cecil Stedman. For people who have grown up with the DC and the Marvels, we know that heroes are people who protect civilians, never kill, always do the right thing, have too much burden on their shoulders. For example, the best hero I could think of is Spider-Man. Spider-Man, when he started out, he was this kid, Peter Parker, who only cared about Aunt May and Uncle Ben. But when Uncle Ben passed away, he understood the importance of great power comes with great responsibility. Like all the Spider-Man movies, the ones in the 20s, 10s, they show us the responsibility he has. My favorite Spider-Man is the Amazing Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield played that part perfectly. Is, in my opinion, he's the most emotional Spider-Man ever. With when Gwen Stacy dies, with when his uncle dies, when Gwen Stacy's father dies, everything in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, it shows the emotional depth that has on Peter Parker. Like, it weighs on him. And when we talk about heroes, we look at Invincible. Invincible just at its last episode, season 3, they cooked. Everyone is gonna talk about the animation, how bad it is, but the last 2 episodes we can see where the resources went to. Now, when we look at Invincible, he's a character that started out having fun. Then everything changed when his father betrayed him, telling him, we have to conquer Earth, we have to help them, we're gonna end the world hunger, we're gonna bring peace. It's what Thanos was doing in Infinity War, wiping half of the population so that people could have resources. When Mark saw it as a bad way, he fought with his father, he got massacred, he got clapped, he got bashed. And when Angstrom came in season 2 and he lost it, my favorite quote in that last episode is, I thought you were stronger, meaning he was fighting him as a Viltrumite. What am I saying? He was fighting him as a Viltrumite. And when killing him, he lost it. He said he don't want to kill anymore. Then Conquest came. Conquest did more damage than Omni-Man, and Mark lost it. He went head first, until Conquest was no longer breathing. And the last episode, he tells Oliver, whoever tries or whoever threatens my family will have no mercy from me, will get no mercy from me. And that's where I want to tackle this, what it really means to be a hero. Before Mark Grayson reaches a point where he might even consider killing. He faces several intense challenges, both physical and emotional. His journey is about learning what it means to be a hero while dealing with brutal realities that test his morals. Here are the major challenges that push him closer to the breaking point. The betrayal of Omni-Man. Mark's father, Omni-Man, also known as Nolan Grayson, was his idol and mentor. But when he learns that Nolan is actually a Viltrumite conqueror planning to take over Earth, everything shatters. That fight is one of the most brutal moments in the series, leaving Mark physically destroyed and emotionally broken. Despite the pain, he refuses to kill his father, who ultimately spares him and leaves Earth. The brutality. No. In this, the brutality of only men, how would you feel? I mean, let me say 50-50% of people. 50% of people grew up with fathers. 50% of people don't have fathers. They want to get the cigarettes. I love smoking the cigarettes. Daddy was like, yo, let me go get a cigarette. Never came back. So for people who actually relate with this, how would you feel knowing the person who raised you for 17 years and he turns and flips the switch like, your mom is just a puppet. Your mom is just a puppy. I only see her as a pet. What is 17 more years? I will just wait another 17 more years and have another kid. It's like being in a relationship, you with this girl planning everything, still young, or maybe you married, whatever. Just making an example here. Yeah. You and this girl are planning your future. Then all of a sudden, she just tells you, nah, I don't want you anymore. I feel like a lot of people went through heartbreaks, male or female, to a point of where you're like, yes, I found my soulmate. Then out of the blue, that person just turns and be like, I don't want you anymore. All those years of planning, all those years of happiness, they just...
Why did you make me do this?
His father massacred a lot of people. He destroyed a lot of buildings, damaged, hurt his mom, gave him PTSD, gave him trust issues, to a point of where when he saw him again in season 2, he was spectacle, but he forgave him. Come on, man, it's your father, it's your dad. And that's one of the major factors we talking about right now. Brutality of the world. Unlike traditional superheroes, Mark quickly learns that being a hero means witnessing extreme violence and suffering. He sees friends and innocents slaughtered, fights villains who have no mercy, and realizes that his strength alone is not always enough to protect people. Every villain he meets in season 1, I feel like that's what a lot of people were complaining in the first 2 seasons, that dude, in every fight he was getting beaten, he was losing mostly 80% or 70% of his fights. And that's the testament of his willpower. When we talk about heroes like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, I can talk about those 3 heroes. Yeah, we see them getting pummeled, but they always come up on top. But with Invincible, every fight he's in, people die. Every fight, people die. His own powerlessness. Mark constantly faces enemies far stronger than him. Viltrumites like Conquest and Omni-Man, and even the coalition of planets' political struggles. No matter how hard he fights, he often feels powerless against the forces shaping the universe. No matter how powerful you are, there's always gonna be a stronger person who's more dominant than you, and you are going to feel like this is not fair anymore. Like the fight is no longer there. What are you fighting for? oh, I'm fighting for my family. I'm fighting for my future. I'm fighting for my earth. I'm fighting for the planet that I love. But no matter how much you endure, you will never be enough because there's always a bigger and better person. The cost of mercy. Mark tries to avoid killing, but this often leads to greater destruction. Enemies like Conquest return stronger, and Mark sees people suffer because he was not willing to go further. At times, he questions whether sparing lives is the right choice. Like when he was fighting Engstrom threatened his family. Davy, Mark's mom, her arm got broken, and Mark lost it. When Conquest came fighting Mark, he murdered a lot of people. There was one kid whose arm was, yeah, he's not gonna be writing anymore. He's not gonna be writing. And when Conquest did the unthinkable, killing Eve, that's when Mark lost it. How much mercy are you going to give people? How much mercy does one person deserve? It's like criminals in this world, people who kill, who rape, who steal, people who cause misery, pain, suffering to people. People who are in jail for doing all the wrong things. How much mercy would you give them? At some point, you will lose the mercy and no longer feel like being a good person. In this world, there is no such thing as a good person. We may try to feel like, yes, we are all good people, but no one is actually a good person. We have come so far to being good people. We are not God. We are not Jesus. We are not angels. We are humans. We feel pain. We do bad things. We do good things. But at some point, everyone has a breaking point. And that's what Mark is ultimately reaching to. The weight of responsibility. As Mark grows, he starts seeing the bigger picture of intergalactic politics and war. Killing is the only way to prevent greater destruction. His evolution from an idealistic hero to someone who understands the necessity of extreme actions is one of the most compelling aspects of Invincible. We see Mark and his other variations, the 18 variations, we see how Mark would actually be if he starts losing his humanity. That's when Engström said, "You are not a good person, you are not a hero. In every multiverse I've ever traveled to, you've been killing people, you've been making me suffer." And when the Invincible War actually started, we saw that, yeah, these people, they don't actually care. My favorite character, Rexplode, he's dead. He sacrificed himself to save his friends. And that scene where he actually self-destructs with Invincible, it actually hit hard. And when the last episode, when Robot and Adam Eve were talking about him and I saw Eve crying, she really loved him. I'm not saying it's a competition, but the way she said, I mean, your first love is always your first love. You can't forget your first love. So yeah, my favorite character, Explode, is dead, and it's very poetic. Dying while saving your friend, while fighting your friend. Mark Grayson's decision to kill Engstrom, Levi, and Conquest in Invincible reflects a culmination of his emotional and moral struggles. Killing Conquest. Conquest is a brutal and sadistic Voltramite warrior who, during their first encounter, nearly kills Mark and causes massive destruction. After this battle, Conquest is one of the few enemies Mark continues to face, who is both powerful and cruel. When Conquest returns to Earth after his defeat, Mark has already grown stronger, but his past interactions with Conquest weigh heavily on him. Conquest, violence, and merciless behavior, especially towards Mark's allies, leave Mark no choice but to end the fight decisively. In the final battle with Conquest, Mark is pushed to a breaking point. Conquest not only physically abused him in the past but also poses an ongoing threat to both Earth and the future of the human race. When Mark kills Conquest, it's because he believes there is no other way to stop him, and that the safety of others is worth more than sparing the life of a monster like Conquest. Unlike Batman, who saves Joker and other people, Joker has caused misery, has killed Robin, has made a lot of people suffer. And no matter what happens, Batman always saves him. He doesn't kill. Spider-Man, even when these villains threaten his family, his friends, people, he does not kill. Superman, the Man of Steel, does not kill. But when it comes to Mark, he actually loses it, saying, what's the point of saving them if they're not savable? He's not redeemable. Conquest is one of the many enemies that have made Mark question what it means to be a hero. When he kills Conquest, he no longer feels that weight on his shoulder where he blames himself. He sees Conquest as another monster that wants to kill and enslave everyone on Earth. And that's when I say, what does it mean to be a hero? Is it saving the people that you love, or saving the people what am I saying? Is it saving the people that you love and saving all the civilians without killing? Or is it killing anyone who threatens the people that you love, innocent people of the world, by killing them and without giving them any chance of mercy? Killing Engstrom Levi. Engstrom Levi. Is it Levi? I'm thinking about Levi from Attack on Titan. Engstrom is a character who initially appears as a villain, seeking revenge against Mark for the destruction he caused when he tried to use his multi-dimensional powers to hurt the hero. Engstrom repeatedly comes into conflict with Mark, and his action leads to several tragic consequences, especially when he creates alternate dimensions where terrible things happen. Mark does not want to kill Engstrom at first. However, Engstrom's repeated actions, manipulating dimensions and causing harm to innocent people in the process, it leads Mark to a breaking point. Engstrom's refusal to accept responsibility for the chaos he causes and his persistent desire to destroy Mark's life push Mark into a situation where he believes killing Engstrom is the only solution to stop the destruction once and for all. Mark's decision to kill Engstrom is emotional and a result of a moment of anger, frustration, and a sense of hopelessness. He feels betrayed by Engstrom, whose choices have caused irreversible damage. At this point, Mark believes the greater good is served by ending the threat Engstrom poses. It's a long video, man. It's a long video. It's something that I've been meaning to make, and yeah, I just needed the right motivation. I just needed the right inspiration. Cause when I first saw Invincible, at first it was just a show about heroes punching villains. Then the last episode happened, and it was wow. But now, when I'm connecting everything from the comics, from the TV series, the TV series is way different from the comics. A lot of things that added lines and development of characters, which is actually nice for people who really love Invincible. So yeah, Invincible is the best hero right now. For me, right now, in my opinion, is the best hero. I know we have Spider-Man, we have Batman, but with what Invincible feels, the weight on his shoulder, the death of a lot of people that he feels his responsibility. He feels like he's responsible for everyone's death, every blood that he sees. He feels like he's responsible for that, and for 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 a teenager, it actually would mess you up. But since it's comic, yeah. I mean, tell me what you think. Did you like? Did you enjoy? Did you love? Did you hate the season 3? Because they cooked. They really cooked, and it's something small budget, but what they bring to the table, they actually delivered. The last 2 episodes, they actually delivered. The Invincible War actually cooked. Conquest actually cooked. So yeah, shout out to the animators, shout out to the writers, shout out to the voice actors, shout out to everyone who's working on Invincible. And I don't know when we're getting season 4. Man, we waited for GTA 6. We'll wait for season 4. We'll wait for season 5. So yeah, I'm your boy. Would I be a hero? Actually, nah, man. I don't want to handle too much stress. I don't want to feel like I'm responsible for a lot of people's death. You know. So yeah, that was an episode. Like and subscribe. Do whatever. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Comment. I'm here. Peace.